Throughout history, nations have risen and fallen. But there's one pattern you can't ignore. Every empire that set its sights on destroying Israel ended up in ruins. Egypt enslaved them. Assyria invaded them. Babylon exiled them. Greece corrupted them. Rome crushed them. And yet they all collapsed. Not because Israel was powerful. Not because they were perfect. But because they were chosen. Today, the world is watching as a new enemy rises. The question is, why haven't they learned? Let's walk through the record. Egypt was the first superpower to rise against Israel, long before they were even a nation. Pharaoh enslaved them, murdered their sons, and defied the God who sent Moses. Egypt's gods were exposed, its army drowned, and its empire never recovered. Then came Assyria, feared across the ancient world. They conquered kingdom after kingdom and mocked the God of Israel at the gates of Jerusalem. But one night, one angel and 185,000 Assyrian soldiers were dead. The empire collapsed from within soon after. Babylon burned the temple, took the people captive, and declared itself supreme. But the prophet Jeremiah had already spoken. Babylon will fall and become a heap of ruins. Within one generation, it happened. Greece rose next. They didn't just conquer, they tried to erase identity, banning circumcision, forcing Jews to eat pork, defiling the temple. But the Maccabees fought back. Greece never ruled over Israel again. And then came Rome, brutal, efficient, unstoppable. They destroyed Jerusalem, exiled the Jewish people, renamed the land, but Rome is gone. And Israel is still here. Yes, Israel was exiled. Yes, they were conquered. But Israel's back, in their land, speaking their ancient language, living out a promise made thousands of years ago. The difference is in the covenant. But there's one nation that hasn't fallen. For 40 years, Iran has made the destruction of Israel a national mission. Not just political opposition, but theological hatred. Its leaders have stood before the world and openly called for Israel to be wiped off the map. It funds terror groups on every border. Hezbollah in the north, Hamas in the south, militias in Syria and Iraq. It arms them, trains them, pays them. The regime pours billions into war. The question is no longer whether Iran opposes Israel. The question is, how far will they go? And how long will God stay silent? What we're seeing is not just war. It's a challenge to something ancient, a covenant. Joel 3 says this, "In those days, I will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There, I will put them on trial for what they did to my inheritance, my people Israel." According to the prophets, God himself will confront the nations, not because of oil or land, but because they touched his chosen people. In Zechariah 2, God speaks with piercing clarity. Whoever touches you touches the apple of his eye. To strike Israel is to strike the center of God's concern. And in Isaiah 31, we see God not as passive or distant, but as a warrior. The Lord of hosts will come down to do battle. Like birds hovering, so the Lord will shield Jerusalem and deliver it. These aren't metaphors. The prophets saw it. The nations that rise against Israel are not just facing a military. They are facing a promise, and the one who made that promise has never broken his word. Egypt thought they could crush God's people. Babylon thought they could erase them. Rome thought they could scatter them into oblivion. And all of them fell. Israel should not exist today. By every human calculation, they should have vanished long ago. But they're still here. And every time a nation rises up to destroy them, it disappears into history. So is Iran next? Maybe it's about you. If God really keeps his promises, to a people, to a land, to a purpose, then you have a choice to make. Will you stand with what he has chosen?